Welcome back to my micro-learning series, episode 3 on HBR's 10 must-reads on emotional intelligence. Today we are going to talk about fairness. Why it's so hard to be fair. Think of the last time your company announced layoffs, a restructuring, or a big promotion decision. What upset people more, the outcome itself or how the decision was handled? Today's episode is about process fairness, why it matters so much and why managers still get it wrong. Segment 1, outcome versus process. We often think people are mainly concerned about outcomes, salary, bonus, promotion, job loss. Research shows they care just as much, sometimes more, about the process used to reach these outcomes. Joel Bruckner calls this process fairness. Employees' judgment of how decisions are made and communicated, not just what is decided. Segment 2, the 3 drivers of fair process. Employees usually ask 3 questions about any big decisions. 1. Did I have a voice? Were my views sought out? Were they taken seriously, even if the final answer was no? Second, was the process sound? Was it consistent for everyone, based on accurate information? Were biases minimized and mistakes correctable? Was there enough advance notice and transparency? 3. How did my manager behave? Did they explain the reasons clearly? Did they treat me with dignity and respect? Did they listen and show genuine concern? When these 3 are present, people are more likely to accept even painful outcomes like losing a job or missing a promotion. Segment 3, the hidden cost of unfairness. When people feel the process is unfair, they often retaliate, sometimes quietly. They sue. Wrongful termination lawsuits are far more common when process fairness is low. They leave. The turnover rises, especially among high performers. They disengage. Effort drops, creativity drops, and sometimes theft goes up. Bruckner shows that fair process is often cheaper than financial fixes. A respectful explanation, a real listening, can save more money than an expensive severance or wellness program. Segment 4, why smart managers still avoid it. If fairness is so powerful, why don't more leaders practice it? Bruckner highlights 4 common blockers. 1. Money solves everything mindset. Leaders overinvest in payouts and underinvest in respectful conversations. 2. Legal fear. Legal terms push say less, so managers share almost nothing, which actually increases risk and resentment. 3. Power anxiety. Sometimes managers fear that giving people a voice will weaken their authority, forgetting that it usually increases commitment and influence. 4. Emotional discomfort. Guilt, anxiety, and emotional contagion make managers avoid people in pain instead of facing them with empathy. Segment 5, fairness in practice. For your next tough decision, try these 3 micro moves. 1. Ask for input early. 1 simple question. What's your perspective? 2. Explain the why. Share the criteria and alternatives considered, not just the final call. 3. Acknowledge feelings, not just facts. I know this is hard. Here is what I considered, and I am here to answer questions. None of these cost money, but together they send a powerful message. You matter, and the way we decide things here is fair. Before your next restructuring, promotion, or policy change, pause and ask, if I were on the receiving end, would this feel fair in voice, process, and treatment? Your answer to that question may do more for trust, performance, and retention than any budget line you control. Let's move to conclude this episode by looking at a real-world illustration when teaching fairness and process. Cisco, civility and fair treatment. Researchers Christine Porrett and Christine Pearson found that even at Cisco, already rated as great place to work, incivility was quietly costing an estimated $12 million a year in lost productivity, turnover, and other fallout. For those who don't know, what is incivility? Incivility is rudeness or lack of politeness, either as a general quality or in a specific rude act. Instead of just throwing money at perks, Cisco launched a global workplace civility program focused on how people were treated day to day, not just on pay and bonuses. Emphasized hiring for civility, teaching it, and holding people accountable for respectful behavior. This is a live example of a company realizing that fair, respectful process, not only at the end of the year, everyday interactions, explanations, listening has a major business impact beyond pure financial rewards. I'm signing off from my micro-learning with a promise that in the next episode, we will explore why smart leaders fail. It's a featured article in HBR's 10 must-reads on emotional intelligence, Why Good Leaders Make Bad Decisions by Andrew Campbell, Joe Whitehead, and Sydney Finkelstein. This is Rajni Ramkumar signing off. Bye.